We're Zero Feedback, and you're watching the NHC Music Podcast.
The more relaxed you are, that's what makes it hip-hop. This is the first thing I will say to you. You want to do hip-hop? You got to stand like this. In a hip-hop head, we have this. Boom, bam, every time. Or So the hands are always, like this.
And welcome to another NHC podcast.
Yeah, this is real hip-hop, baby.
If you couldn't tell,
Oh yeah, there she goes.
we're going to have some hip-hop artists on today's show.
I mean, she looks hip-hop. Is that her?
Straight.
It's Mr. Motivator's Bastard
Straight.
Love Child.
I want
Yeah,
to club.
that's horrific one.
I'm Anthony, by the way.
I'm James. I'm Jamie.
Woo! We've got a show.
We're minus Colin again. He's still and
he's being hung upside down in someone's sex dungeon.
yeah, he's getting bled basically.
Well, that's what he wants to happen,
Aye.
anyway. He wishes that's what's happening to him.
He thinks he's on holiday, but we've just put him in a tank of green goo like the day in that Family Guy episode. Is it Family Guy or is it?
It's American
Dad. Yeah, he thinks he's on
Aye.
holiday. He's not really. He's just suspended naked in a tank of green goo, where we look at him and laugh.
What I call a family get-together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Christmas.
Yes.
It's Christmas. It's a tradition.
And we've all put up photos of his wee tiny green goo covered Bobby, along with the
Tiny green goo covered Bobby.
along with the podcast, obviously for your enjoyment, of course.
I mean, we're only doing it for his missus. She gets a week off now.
Yes. Well, yeah, no. We've
A week off? That's Alicia worries I've got a bowler for fuck's sake.
A week off.
Oh, sorry. A week off joke, sorry.
Week off and bleeding from the anus and eyes. Bleeding from where the
Orifices.
Where's the worst place you could bleed
Orify?
from?
Is it Orify? I don't know.
Orify.
Orify.
Orify sounds like it should be some kind of metal band.
Orify. Horrified.
Oh, nice. I see what you've done there.
We've actually got a guest coming on the show today. We're
At
waiting
some
on
point, yeah. Zero feedback.
Zero feedback. Scottish hip hop.
Yep.
And we encourage lots of feedback on them.
Yeah, we do. We're pretty naive with the hip hop
Yeah,
world.
definitely. I mean, I've heard
Part of the charm today, I think, is it's an awakening of sorts.
Yes.
I've heard of hip hop,
But not like the Robert De Niro's awakening, because that was weird, man.
I mean, I agree. Hip hop does exist for me. I mean, I was kind of big into hip hop when I was younger. Like,
it's like
really
every 12-year-old white kid.
Exactly. I thought I only liked the white rapper. What's his name again? Oh, aye, that Eminem one.
Parappa.
Barack Obama.
Parappa the rapper.
Oh,
Remember that game you used to get for the PlayStation 1?
kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find.
That's it.
Oh, what a wee dick.
I hate him. Anyway, I used to hate that game, just thought I'd put it out there. No, I think it'd be quite. We listened to other songs. What's the name of the song again?
Mean it.
Mean it. And how's it go? Mean it, mean it, mean it, mean it. No.
That is exactly how it
That's
goes.
exactly how it goes.
No, it's actually really good. We
Copyright.
did enjoy it. Yeah, that's never going to
Hopefully they'll play it today then after we've talked about it.
They have just brought out an EP at the time of recording, so it'll be a week old at this point, called DOS 4, which is the fourth in their series of DOS EPs.
MS-DOS.
Yeah, all their EPs are pay what you like, I believe. So that's something we'll talk
That's
about
the
them
model
with.
they're going for.
Yeah, we'll talk about them. Talk about them with that. Yeah,
See me
that
you
makes sense.
because only like a pay what you like, Bathies. You just pay nothing, didn't you? Didn't you? You did, didn't you? I pay nothing, didn't you?
Yeah, it's more
Remember,
porn money.
what was the Tom York thing, the BitTorrent thing? Remember we talked about In Rainbows and it was the whole... I didn't pay anything. I went to...
Apparently he made... He they basically were trying to work out that he never made a loss in anything. He made enough money to
of
cover all
course,
and make
we
money.
said that
Because
was-
people
yeah.
were paying over. Some people wank, so
Course
obviously they've
they
got a lot of cash. I'll pay over.
But then again, Tom York does live on children's tears, so...
Yeah. And one of
A
his
bed
eyes
of
is
them.
evil.
That's why I
And
can't...
try to fight against his
Yeah, you
face.
can't fully open it. It's that evil.
Sorry, Tom.
I'm not.
You're not listening.
Try to fight against his face.
It's not Tom, but is it no?
Tom. Yeah, it's like Sandy Tom. Sandy
That sort of regretful coming noise there.
Tomahawk.
Yeah, we've actually got 2 tickets to give away to the Sandy Tom gig in on and more on the 11th of November. In fact,
There's a segue for you.
We'll already have given them away, I forgot,
Aye.
because this is out in like 2 weeks' time.
That'll be fucking thrilling, that gig.
Yeah.
Are you not a fan? I'm not a fan either.
She had that one song
I'm
about...
friends with her online. I quite like Sandy
She
Tom.
had that one song about being a punk rocker that was not punk at all.
That was the
Or was it? No. Okay.
so punk.
Yeah, flowers in my hair. Oh, that's punk rebellion.
That's the one.
We one of the guys in our shop last week was talking about how
Who was it?
That Mark Curran. And he got heckled one night because he was doing acoustic punk, and there was a guy shouting, "It's no fucking punk! It's no fucking punk! It's too weird and unusual with punk." And he was like, "Is that not the very definition of punk?"
I thought punk was just three chords and shouting.
That's
we're going to take a lot of shit for this podcast.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of like,
this is a hip hop podcast after all.
It's been prided upon. I think there's a proud thing about punk being simple, you know.
Yeah, well, that's it. That was kind of.
So it's not really an insult.
But the whole ethos of punk is do what you fucking want. So surely acoustic punk is just the same as any other punk.
It kind of became a backlash against Clapton and guys like that who were so fucking proficient.
A claplash, as they call it. That sounds like a horrible disease.
Yeah, which Colin now has.
yes.
All of the diseases at once.
Yeah, he's essentially Mr. Burns. He's got all the diseases in equal doses, cancel each other out.
Indestructible, eh?
Get in the spruce moose.
The spruce moose. Get in. He's at the fucking cardboard shoes. What's that? That's a parody or something with the cardboard boxes in his feet.
I can't remember. It's funny because Colin's an old man.
That is funny.
And I'm essentially his Smithers.
This beer isn't working.
There is like 15 pictures somewhere in attics all getting really old because Colin just the same, man.
Well, it was like that fateful.
One picture could not hold that.
It was like the fateful Lost Fluorescent Hearts podcast where they were all trying to guess Colin's age, and they all assumed he was
12.
Stupidly aged. Like, he must only be about 25.
Funnily enough, one of the guys out of Fluorescent Hearts looks about 12.
To be fair though, Colin did die on the outside the day he met Jimmy Savile at the BBC Roadshow, so
yeah,
his old form crumbled away and it left this youthful, damaged interior.
Either that or he's some kind of weird Benjamin Button-esque person.
I know, he'll actually just keep getting younger looking. Yeah. We've actually not. He actually was, and during the war, he was fighting in the war, and he's now. That's just him relaxing as he becomes a child again. That's a weird film. That's
a weird
way
film.
Too long.
I didn't see after it had all finished. I've been sitting there for fucking hours. I went, I did not really enjoy that.
No, I was the exact same. I thought
I didn't hate it. I just didn't really enjoy it.
I had to see what was going to happen next, and I had to see it to the end. And as soon as it finished, I started to think, well, I don't really think I give a shit about that.
No,
film.
I don't care. I do not care for that movie.
I mean, they put a lot of time and effort into obviously making.
I'd like to watch it in reverse. See what happens.
Memento style.
See if it's good.
Memento is in the wrong way, and then you can.
Did you watch the DVD reverse?
You can do the Easter egg. Yeah,
and it's actually all right. It's not the same though.
No, it's not. The funny thing is, I'd like to see that film go down if that was like the first time somebody saw it, the right order. Because I mean, the story is essentially the same.
The story is the same. It's just all fucking ruined.
But it just shows you that it's the way. Like Pulp Fiction, that fried my brain when I was younger. Having to watch that's the end.
Well, you go out of sync. Pulp Fiction it's certainly one of the most popular ones for the start that have done an out of sync kind of movie that's all fucking weird.
Well, that was Tarantino's favourite thing to do. Yeah. Really, he's always played. I mean, Reservoir Dogs is the same. That was all out of sync as well.
Well, that's true.
It starts off, he's at the gun and the guy's in the chair. Like, what the fuck's going on? Oh no, because I was like 10 when I first watched that. Pretty much that was the year it came out, and I was like,
Colin is still 40. Weird, man. Totally weird.
Yeah, it's when Colin says things like, "Oh yeah, I went to."
Do you remember Penny Farthings?
He's like, I went to see Ace Ventura in the cinema. I'm just like, did you?
Aye.
What was that like? Using your old pensioner's card.
Woodstock. Did you enjoy Woodstock, Colin?
Do you remember you used to be able to get wood? Aye. Tenuous link there.
Aye. We told you we were going to get you, pricks.
Yeah, we're going to get you hard.
Horrifically. Or just kind of soft and we'll thumb it in.
That just reminds me of the Huxtable podcast for some reason.
Thumbing it in reminds you of Huxtable.
Slugging a coin slot.
Was that not pretty much all we said in that fucking Huxtable podcast? We talked about thumbing it in a hell of a lot.
Probably.
I don't know, Anthony.
It's such a horrible... Because you just think...
There's no pleasure for anybody there, really. It's just I need to do this.
I know, I'm committed to the idea. It's just, I'm not going to be a failure here.
I promised myself I would have sex, therefore I'm having it.
Even if I don't like it. Oh, God.
Even if I just have to scream, this is sex, well, I'm doing it. So prove to me and you that this is reality.
And the neighbours.
That's like the most Alan Partridge thing I've ever heard in my life. This is fucking...
As a single solitary tear falls at your Tom York eye.
Tom York eye.
I'm sorry, I totally lost that there. So we get a couple of hip hop guys coming on today.
Can people tell we're just killing time till our guests
Yeah,
turn
I
up?
think so. We've actually had nothing there. So, have we got any to talk about before the guests come on?
No.
No.
In a word.
No.
We do have potentially Martin McCann's band, I want to call them the Sucks Pastels,
Church Pastels, yes.
coming on
Of course I am.
at some point in the near future.
Church Pastels are good and they fucking sell out on the gigs that they're doing, so.
Alright, I thought you were going to say they sold out. They're like
No, they
sponsored by
sell out
Tropicana or
on
something
gigs,
like that.
aye.
Punk, sponsored by Orange Juice.
Tropicana orange juice for all your angry hardcore needs.
Yeah, see, that's
Political fuel.
That's me slating punk, and then we're getting a punk band in on the next show.
Yeah, are they coming in next week?
I believe so.
Well, I need to try and come up for that as well. Will Colin be back for that?
Yes.
Colin
Oh,
will
I don't
be
know
back.
then.
Well, he'll be back in some
Because he'll still
form.
have Ebola then.
Aye.
So.
Miraculously cured, but we'll all be in hazmat suits.
Yeah, just in case. In case he tries to finger
He's only
us.
been on holiday, so he can get the the anal cavity search on the way home.
Oh.
I think that's the best part of the holiday for him.
Aye. Everyone else goes into nothing to declare line, and he just greases up.
Oh, I'd be shitting myself though, because if you can buy for the holiday and it'll be a slight cold, you're going to get fingered up the bum.
Aye.
Check.
So, well, it's good. I took this packet of butter from the flight to just ease
Good
matters here.
stuff, man.
Hey.
I'm sorry we kind of scattered your brain there with lots of crazy shit that we were talking about. But now, obviously, we're back again. We are back again.
We are now joined by our guests.
We have the guests here. That's like the magic of fucking, I would say television here, but it's not television. Eravision. The magic of
Eravision.
Eravision.
Aye.
We've actually got the guests here now.
Yeah, we don't get any more professional than that.
We don't. It's what the people like.
That's professional enough when the guests turn
Aye.
up. I mean, we're off to a good start this time.
So,
Yeah.
your zero feedback. Introduce yourselves.
Hey.
I'm Effigy.
And I'm Righteous Fist.
Awesome.
Together we're Zero Feedback.
Oh yeah.
How did you guys come together as a Scottish hip hop collective?
I don't know if I'd go as far as collective, but
Well, there's more than one of you.
A movement.
It's a collection of two. But how did we? Well, just I don't know. We just
Well, we'd played
met
in bands
through-
before.
Yeah. We played in bands and we met through playing in local bands, and we hadn't ever played in a band together before. But I think it was Grant started off with making a hip hop beat and sort of
Well,
said,
I'd heard you'd been interested in hip hop.
Yeah, actually, I had started doing some things beforehand, and I'd sort of been working with someone else on some hip hop stuff, and then Grant produced a hip hop beat and said, like, you know, you could come on this and we could work together on some stuff, and it gradually built up, and we had, I think, about 3 different tracks that we sort of started working on and then eventually abandoned, and then we started taking it more seriously.
Was hip hop before? Were you doing that before as well, or was it a change?
No, I
'Cause I know,
was...
obviously from what I know you from, Grant, it's like that was. I mean, that's miles away. So, like, I mean, was this?
Hey, I won the mid-Calder Primary School Talent Contest as Eminem in
Oh, there you go.
1997.
You learn
so-
something every day.
But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, in that sort of
Yeah.
public perspective,
I know, totally.
it was like, well, that's totally different. Yeah.
No, to be honest, I hadn't been in much. I hadn't really done anything really hip hoppy before either. I mean, I'd done bands as well. I'd been in pretty much since at high school, uni, and things like that. I'd always been in bands. Usually, with me, it was like 3 pieces. I played the guitar and usually had to do most of the singing as well. So yeah, I'd done those kind of things beforehand, and the hip hop stuff was always like a genre that I listened to and something I was interested in. And eventually, I suppose I just kind of decided, you know, to have a go at it. And
I think I've always appreciated it.
I was going to say, I think it's the kind of thing that, you know, there's definitely not a saturated market in Scotland for it.
See, I feel
but there's a
we're kinda-
lot of
aye.
fans, but not many people start groups and outfits.
I still
you
feel
know?
a lot of Scottish people, certainly even us sitting here, like kind of hip hop virgins. We know we've heard hip hop before. There's a very select few decent hip hop bands in Scotland.
For me personally,
And people
that's
forget
more
that
just
there's a lot.
because that's just because again because of the area. There aren't a lot
Aye.
of groups that
Do
are,
you
know,
struggle? Would you struggle? You think to get gigs as a hip hop band? Would you play the same kind of venues over and over again? Or
To a certain extent, I mean, I think, we're kind of more from Edinburgh, so like the scene, like live music scene in Edinburgh, not to put it down, there's great places
it's
to
not,
play.
we've heard about it on here.
Aye, exactly.
You're
So
not
you
gonna
go play in
first.
Glasgow, and then like people will come off the street that don't know you just to come and see some live music.
Yeah.
Whereas in
Yeah,
Edinburgh, it's like your pals are coming to see you. But yeah, there's kind of very few, maybe even
it's
a
much
handful
much
of
harder work, I think.
places that will book hip hop groups or have hip hop nights.
Yeah, I think we're making things difficult on ourselves twice because
Yeah.
we've got the the fact that we're in Edinburgh and then the fact that we're doing hip hop as well. So it's not it's not a big thing in
It's
Edinburgh.
funny how everyone
it's
who comes
yeah.
and talks about Edinburgh, it's always the same.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but I mean, it's weird how it's I don't know what it is. I mean,
it's maybe a cultural thing though, because they're not Scottish.
Aye, well,
do you know what? Yeah,
Glasgow's
do you
not the
know what?
best.
Yeah.
You know, remember Old Capital that was in Glasgow? I thought it was the best for lunch.
Of course, yeah.
Remember Big Taj was playing in there one night?
All right, yeah,
and
yeah.
they actually says, when he was up on stage, we were in to see him and another band that were on, and fucking cranking. He was doing his hip hop stuff. There was a guy behind him doing some of the best beatboxing I've ever heard. It was like, he's got something in his horn. That's no beatboxing, he's going to have something in his horn. We just totally thought he did to him. And they stopped the gig halfway through because the guy who was part of the bar came down and went, no, we never knew it was that type of music. And you're like, who gives a fuck what type of music it is?
Exactly.
No, we're no a hip hop bar. And you're like, who gives a fuck? There's like 50 or 60 people in here to see it.
Sure,
They
those
actually
people
stopped the gig.
If people are buying drinks and
Who gives a fuck?
why does it matter?
I
don't get me wrong,
think
there's like-
maybe somebody had something against fucking whoever was playing that night, basically.
Maybe.
there's loads of guys doing there's tons of guys doing hip hop in Edinburgh, so there's a hip hop scene, but
Right. Oh, that's
they're not all like playing constantly because there isn't too many places to play. Like, see, like
Right, okay.
I think Henry's Cellar Bar is the kind of go-to
it's the
place
main-
for hip hop gigs in Edinburgh.
That's a cool wee venue. You ever been
It's
there?
kind of
no?
weird. Henry Cellar Bar seems to do a lot of kind of underground stuff. Even with
Yeah.
your metal and your like kind of weird rock, it's the type of place to be for it.
it's a
Yeah.
sort
I
of
wasn't
niche
sure if that was
venue.
still there. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's really cool.
Busy
It's a-
gig still in Henry
I
Cellar
mean,
Bar.
I've played there once. It was a really fucking just wacky night because again, it was just a lot of punters that were there anyway. I think they
Yeah.
were just there.
You do get a bit of
And
that
it
there,
was-
but I think
it
there's a
was
lot
cool.
of like genre specific nights. They do like sort of electro things, then they do like the crusty punks and stuff go there as well, and then there's the hip hop nights happen on different
Oh, so you'll
things.
find it's quite a segregated
Aye, so
crowd.
it's-
Right,
it's-
okay.
yeah,
Well, that's quite cool because then you can't go, this isn't a hip hop bar.
No, it's not.
This isn't a punk bar.
'Cause
It's,
I went
it's
to
everything.
I went to a prog night in there once, and it's like you don't got a lot of prog nights kicking about either, and they had one in fucking there. So good on
I
them.
think I played the prog night there.
So,
probably,
I may
yeah.
have been there really drunk.
I've actually played a gig in a torn mind and then played as your feedback afterwards as well.
Really? That's
That
pretty good.
collection there, man.
Yeah, so
We haven't actually played that many gigs. Talking about getting gigs and how difficult it is, we haven't really played very many.
No.
We want to. We really enjoy it when we do
Yeah,
it.
right.
But it's things like you're saying, like getting on bills with other people, and how do you a lot of places that put on gigs that we know from playing in bands like Bannerman's and like like Henry's as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of these places they have bands every night of the week, and if you're in a band, it's quite easy to get a slot there. But when they see a hip hop act, they're going to sort of be like, well,
Yeah, where are we going to put them
who do
in?
we put this in with? We don't have.
I
other
think
hip-hop
Glasgow is
acts,
now
and so-
starting to get a bit more. You're getting a bit more varied kind of nights just for select genres as well. I would say
it's
Glasgow,
strange
for what
because
I've seen, is better than Edinburgh.
I
for
think
getting
that's
kind
the
of
problem
hip-hop
with any gig, though. You get far too many promoters that get desperate and just throw on
Anyone.
Oh, we need a band for tomorrow
Yeah.
night, and it's a fucking metal night, and then they put on like some indie band that are
strange
just going to
enough,
get
even
slashed
though-
out. It's like you need to actually have nights that are themed.
Aye.
Yeah.
It's
and I think that's the downfall of a lot of live music venues as well. Because
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the idea of having live music every night is amazing to me and being a musician. But
too much, though.
It just generates
Aye,
like
too much.
crap bands.
Is it?
Crap
Because you
acts,
have
and
to,
it's
you
like-
have to get desperate.
Or
and
as
go,
we always shout
anyone
about,
to
it's
fill
like
it.
the standard fucking 5-band bill you get, and you'll get like a rock band, an acoustic band, some other fucking band,
always
and nobody
Every-
gives
every
a
day's
fuck.
a festival.
No,
It's
nobody
like,
gives
yeah.
a fuck about it after a while. So
Yeah.
we're now for our gigs anyway. It's like maximum we'll try to do like 3-band bills and stuff, and we actually get a headliner and then try and get 2 bands that really fucking suit the headliner.
I think that's the best
No
way to
other
do it,
way to
like-
do it, I don't think at all. Because the whole thing about
Half
if you're
of a
playing
gig-
with 2 bands, you want to pick up just fans
Just
for
as
the
I
other
was saying,
people.
half the battle is picking up your not necessarily like, right, we need to hoover up the fans tonight, but you want to make sure that they're not going to get bored of you,
Yeah.
and you're not annoying them almost.
If it's a
you know what I
fucking,
mean?
if it's a metal gig
I
and
don't
you're playing
want-
acoustic, it's not going to work. So.
Exactly. So yeah, no, it's
I think when it's a 5-band bill as well with different bands, all that happens is the people who know each band come and watch
Aye,
them,
and
Yeah,
and
they
they
leave.
don't watch
Yeah.
anyone
No, they
else. They
fuck
just
off,
leave.
yeah.
So they're not interested.
and we're supposedly terrible in Scotland for that in general. Apparently, like bands come through and they kind of go,
5-band
why
bills.
did all these punters leave halfway through the night? And you go, that's just what folk do. And you're like, shit, it doesn't happen as much anywhere else. It seems like we're just
Yeah.
people are quite ignorant and go, yeah, I'm just going to see my pal, then go to the pub, and you're like,
But
nah.
I complain about it, but I've been guilty of it as well. Because
Yeah.
you get,
Of course
you
we
get bored.
are,
You
of
get bored.
course.
You're watching if
But
you're
it's-
at 5-band gig.
But again, that isn't your fault. That's the promoter's. It's the promoter's problem, you know.
But why it doesn't really happen? See, when it's like a bigger name playing, say the Barras or something like that, you don't really do it. You stick about for the support bands and then the headliner.
It's because you paid 25 to 30
Tell
quid.
you, I'll tell you what's quite annoying.
It's just really
see,
strange.
whenever I went to group big gigs, and still, whenever I still do, you go to like. I've not been to the Hydro yet, but I guess it might even apply there. But like, people will actually say, right, we'll go to the pub until 9:30, then we'll head down. I'm like, well, no, I want to go.
Hear someone.
It might be a bit more pricey for boozing, but I might catch a cool band, and folk are like, no, I'm only going to see the headline.
I've actually been guilty of that a couple of times as well.
Well, do you know, I've only done it because I couldn't just leave the group.
It was basically affordability for me. It's like, we're buying pints in here for like £1.50.
No,
Stay here for a few hours.
Venues, obviously, that's the way they get you, but
depends what venues you go to. Like King Tut's and that, some of their beers fucking terribly priced, man.
Quite expensive.
It used to be good.
Other venues are available.
The Tuts Lager was really nice. I know other venues and beers are available. The Tuts Lager, which is that special. I nearly said special brew. It's not special brew. But it's the special brew that they get.
Special brew, I've been fucking buying it.
But that used to be like $2.60 and all that. Now it's like £4 a pint. You're like, for fuck. In the space of like a year and a half.
£4 odd a pint.
I think it's like $3.95. They're gonna breach that in the new year.
5 minutes walk down the road, there's like an old man's bar that you can get a good pint for like £2.50. We're not tight here at NHC Music, so tight because you work on the inside music industry.
So I mean, if only Witherspoons held gigs, imagine that. Yes. You'd be wrecked.
I think the sound would be shite though.
Of course it would.
Gigs, so.
There's a gap in the market there for them, definitely.
Well, there's a pub I saw outside the Barrowlands the other night there. Timland.
Yes.
I was walking past it and I was
I've actually drank Timland before, yeah.
Seriously, man, I wouldn't.
I've drank in
any of those pubs. I wouldn't touch them, man.
Patrick's Day last year, we went every bar in the Barrowlands, every single bar.
Even that one round at the Trongate.
I went to them all.
McCool's is a bit of a rough one. That's it, and that's as close as I'll get to drinking anywhere near the East End. To be honest with you, it's just full of.
We went in bar 67 before Biffy years ago. And like, the toilet was just a hole in the wall, and you're like, oh, fantastic.
Well, that's a glory hole. That's different.
That explains everything. There was a happy ending.
To every single pee.
So despite not gigging, you've been quite consistent in bringing out EPs. You brought out 3 DOSes so far.
Yeah,
but you also do it on a sort of pay-to-play basis, or sorry, not pay-to-play. Pay what you want. Sorry,
we are pay-to-play.
That's what you're giving us today.
That's what I was going to say. That's quite. You mentioned that earlier. So what's this model? What are you doing with that?
Well, I mean, the thing with the DOS stuff, I'm not sure whether we call them EPs or singles or whatever, because the thing is, I mean, that sort of idea was. It's 2 tracks, so each of them is only 2 tracks.
Oh, and that's why it's DOS.
And it's DOS, and it's also like,
that was going to be my next question.
There's
kind of a double meaning there. It's a bit of a DOS, it's whatever, but it's also it's 2 tracks. So it's we're trying. The whole idea, we started off, like I say, we started off with like. I think about 3 tracks that we first started working on, and then we started working on more things and thinking, right, we can do an EP, but then that always takes quite a long time, and we're still like refining our sound and things. So we sort of decided at that point to just release 2 tracks and keep trying to do that regularly, and that would keep us like working on stuff, it keep us evolving, it means people have something to listen to that's quite new. Like,
I remember like arguing the point that you do an EP and then you get just like one spike of like interest,
and you're not sort of confined.
So rather than having like constant sort of peaks, like now and again, the idea behind DOS was to kind of release it, every so often, so it was fairly consistent.
Keep the interest kind of buoyed up.
Yeah, because the thing is, a lot of these guys in the Scottish hip hop scene as well are quite prolific. So they're always writing stuff. So we kind of wanted to feel that we wanted to.
Well, again, talk about Loki. So. Loki seems to have something out quite fucking regularly.
Yeah, he works hard.
Yeah, it's constant stuff.
It kind of depends how
his page is constantly kind of going. There's constant stuff, even stuff that people can get involved. Arguments seems to get in arguments with a lot of people, but it's stuff that he can constantly get people involved with.
I think the thing is, like, there's a lot of people who release a lot of things in the Scottish hip hop scene, but the problem, well, see, some artists benefit from the fact that if they don't produce their own instrumentals, they don't produce their own beats, then they can just get someone else to produce instrumentals. So they've got regular instrumentals coming into them, and all they have to do is write the lyrics to it, record it, and put that out. And I mean, I'm not saying that's easy or is a quick task, but it's less time than it takes to produce the beat. And if you've then got a sort of a crew of like 20 people who are maybe sending you beats at any one time, you can then obviously put stuff out quite regularly.
So you try and produce your own beats then?
Kind of our aim from the start was always to produce our own stuff.
Right.
And then at kind of the start of our like hip hop, career, if you want to say, I decided I was going to use lots of other people's beats and do like mixtapes. That's another thing that happens quite a lot in hip hop.
Yeah,
talk about releasing mixtapes, and it's not a mixtape in the sense of how you think of a mixtape and like making a CD for your car or a gift for your girl you fancy in school or something. It's like
that's exactly what I think a mixtape of. Yeah,
but it's more like who's
never done that, by the way?
I've done it.
Have you done
that?
I've
done it.
He has 100.
I just thought something.
I've done it too, actually. You always go
my
down,
first
goes down
girlfriend,
a
it
treat.
was
this will make her know what I think here, and it was all the thriller and shit. You know what I mean? So mixed messages, basically.
But the thing I was going to say was, the mixtape thing is basically using other people's beats. It's using either commercial beats or beats from other producers that you found and are free online or whatever, and if you've got permission to use them, you don't always. I mean, like, so I've done 2 mixtapes as well, and I started doing that just to keep myself kind of like going, keep myself writing, and so that can happen much quicker. So I've got like, I think the first mixtape is like 8 tracks, and the second one's like 10 tracks, and you can kind of
see that. Sorry,
you can work on these
that's
things
what always
much
confused
quicker.
me, because how you listen to Radio 1 and you've got like what's his name, Charlie Sloth and stuff like that, and he always has these guests and these hip hop people, and they say like, oh, I heard your mixtape, I had to kind of like
is that off their girlfriends?
That's what I mean. See, like ages ago, it did confuse me, and I kind of learned a little bit, but I'm still learning.
It's kind of like, I think, see when commercial artists do it, like Lil Wayne or something puts out a mixtape, it's kind of different then, I think, although he does remix other people's tracks. That's the other thing, sometimes hip hop world call it remixes, when you do your own lyrics over someone else's instrumental, but they talk about that being a mixtape or a dub or whatever, but like a mixtape basically seems to be a collection of songs that aren't considered like your best work or serious or cohesive enough to be an album, and that's why like they put it out as kind of like a freebie, or as like here's a mixtape to keep you going, and it's a collection of like 12.
So this wouldn't be something this wouldn't be something that's getting sold
with the actual body of work. Basically, you're just fucking.
So exactly. It's like a kind of work in progress. It's like a kind of intermediate stage to show that you're still doing something.
Right.
And again, it's that thing, because if you're just writing the lyrics and rapping the lyrics, and in some artists' case, they actually just freestyle the lyrics as well. I mean, it's not something I can do, but like to. In that case, it means that they can release them really quickly and just put them out and keep up the interest in them. It's like, a new song will come out in the charts and it'll be like, oh, you'll get someone doing a remix or doing like a version of it, and that's why there's loads of versions of any instrumentals that come out, any like big instrumentals. Like there was a Drake song. There's a Drake song called Pound Cake, and that instrumental came out, and so now the's like hundreds of MCs all over the world who've done their own version of it.
There's a big thing about like.
I'm guessing Pound Cake's about sex.
Was there not a Van Halen song at one point as well?
I think there is actually. It's like 5150 or something. But I was going to say, there's a lot of like, there's a big thing about like quantity and like hip hop. Like obviously you release stuff of a high quality too, but like some of the within like the sort of rap world, guys like sort of appreciate people who put out stuff all the time. If you're really prolific, you're like, oh, that guy's on it. Yeah, he's putting out tons of stuff. Which I don't know if I think it. I kind of have a problem with it sometimes. I'm anti that to a certain extent, because like Lil Wayne puts out stuff and he's like, yeah, man, I put out like
See, I don't think hundreds of stuff equals
releases
quality all the time.
Bands are writing albums. I mean, they can be tucked away for a year, 2 years. Yeah. They might write 100 songs.
One body of work,
16 of them end up in the album. So I kind of with you on that one. It's like don't just put things out for the sake of
having something out. Yeah.
I mean, it can hit you in the foot. It can shoot you in the foot as well as being a good thing.
I think the thing to me is, it's like, for some people it's like showing you're working. It's like showing where your head's at. It's showing a kind of like, it's like a demonstration of some of your skill as well. And for me personally, I was doing it just because I knew it was going to take us a long time to work on like instrumentals. I knew it was going to take us a while to like find our sound, and I just wanted to take a bunch of different instrumentals and then like practice writing over them, practice rapping, practice recording, getting an idea for like where I was going with the with the stuff. Because I mean, for example, in the first mixtape there's actually a version I do of a Britney Spears track, so it's like it's a mixture of things.
Which one?
Toxic.
Oh, Toxic.
So it's I really only did that because it was just I was looking for instrumentals and I found that and I thought, oh, it'd be funny to do a rap over this.
Brilliant.
And I think that's the thing with a mixtape, you can get away with doing all these different things.
I kind of hope it's as sexy as well.
I don't know about that.
That's not to say mixtapes are terrible, by the way, because Rick's is great, so it's good.
Thanks very much.
No, I mean, I think like showing your work, as you say, I suppose you just don't know what might not be a hit. Maybe
that's where I failed my maths exam.
But you don't.
I was not sure my work.
Well, I was going to say, no, it's going to say the same principle. You can't just go, here's a phenomenal 12-track album. We want to see how you got there.
Yeah, my kind of problem with that is I think a lot of people are invested in the journey of either a band or the journey of an artist. That's why people love the X Factor, and they always have to have
totally
a backstory.
right. And why documentaries for bands are fucking
they're always interesting. They're always, like, even if it's a band you don't like,
even if it's shit, some kind of monster Metallica makes them look like absolute dicks, but I still had to watch it.
And I think releasing a lot of stuff and releasing mixtapes in between proper releases kind of, it shows a development, and I find that kind of appeals.
And the internet, obviously, now I think this is a different world as well, because you can have something you've worked on that day and
release it right
thousands
away.
of people's houses overnight. So I suppose it is a good way, because you're kind of feeding the greed of people a little bit.
My kind of fear is if we spent, like, say, a year working on a 6-track EP, right, and we were like, we've distilled down all our best beats, all our best lyrics, we've really delivered something that is like a crystallization of what we want to do. It's compact, it's listenable, it's well sequenced, and then you release that, you can only keep punting it so many times, like via Facebook or put out a video for it.
Before cunts get fed up.
That's what's about the Spike, like, for doing an EP and against doing consistent releases.
But how do you find, see that when folk are paying what they want, what kind of put you down that path rather than saying it's 79p for a song for iTunes?
Nobody pays for music anymore.
Well, that's true.
In a nutshell.
That's basically it. Yeah.
But have you found some people are like more generous than you expected, or has everyone just went, fuck it, I'm giving you a penny?
It varies. It varies. I don't know. People don't really want to pay that much. People don't want to pay for music, even though it's like, you could pay less than the cost of a pint and that'd still be appreciated. And that's the thing.
But the thing is, you can appreciate it again and again and again, but you only get once.
But people.
What was that thing? I don't know if this is in any way to do with like royalties or anything, but like there's the thing today, or last week now, whenever it'll be, it's like Taylor Swift is taking all her albums off of Spotify. And I don't know if that's because she's kind of like, why would I give this away for free? But then again, Spotify's not really free, because most people that I know that use Spotify, now, I've been using Spotify Premium for 3 years, and I wouldn't go back because you can have it anywhere, and it's brilliant. So I don't really.
The thing with it is for the artists,
and you'll obviously buy the physical stuff that you really
want. The artists make like nothing off of Spotify.
Oh, they make nothing.
It's really small.
That's what I was saying. Lady Gaga, after like 16 million, she's made like $160 or something. It's like, are you crazy? Are you fucking shitting me? I know, it's unbelievable.
But that's why everyone's trying to make more money off the live gigs and merchandise.
Yep.
And, I mean, you can look at it different ways. You can say like, the golden age of records is over, and no one wants to pay for music. No one wants to own a great big record collection. But then if you go back far enough, music was always free. Music was like folk music. It was passed on between people. One person would sing you a song, and then you'd learn that song, and then you sing it to someone else. It was never like a paid thing. So I don't know.
And even if you're talking about actually how you can distribute music, one of the biggest they were calling it.
Vinyl had its biggest sale there since fucking 1991.
Well, actually, vinyl is coming back.
Massive, but it's because people like collect something.
See when you think back to when tape, like homemade tape, was available. That was like, oh no, we're destroying the industry, but that made it boom because people liked making tapes.
Do you remember the home tape? The thing, the home taping kills music.
Oh, it's kind of insane to think of, but at the time there must have been that panic. But then obviously all that did was make millions more people interested in bands they'd never have heard of.
I used to have to wait until my song was on the charts playing when I was younger. Yeah, I'd have to run in and try and fucking play it. Record, bastard, record.
I think it's one of those things that will sort itself out to some extent, and it will balance out, and I'll come round again.
Who is it? Is it not you two? Because they've done that really kind of odd promotion thing with the album recently. But there's another.
Oh, it's like getting a pint of milk in your fridge. Why the fuck, man? That would scare me. See if I never bought milk and I woke up in the morning, there's a pint of milk in my fridge.
Here, mystery milk. Mystery milk.
I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny because those guys like complaining about having free music on
I know.
I'm like, you complain because you have to pay for it, and now you're complaining because it's for free.
At the same time, you two were trying to make it go towards their sales, as in their online sales. Once you propel their album into fucking superstar.
See, after that, I don't know if it was Bono or if it's. I think it's actually somebody else. They're in this whole thing right now that's all mysterious. Like, we've got an idea how to revolutionize.
The Illuminati.
Well, yeah, pretty much, I'm sure. But they're saying it's basically going to be like, this is how the digital revolution is going to actually be a good thing. And they say, we can't talk about any details.
Milk in your fridge.
Well, I mean, I think it's all talk. to be honest. I think it's nonsense words like that, but maybe they are onto something. But then again, what does that mean?
In the way it is, I could think, because artists can come from nowhere. I mean, look at that Megan, whatever her fucking name is, with All About the Bass. Who was she 6 months ago?
There's good things to be gained as well from the sort of nobody paying for music as well, because I always think you can bundle your music with things. Yeah. Like things like t-shirts, things like nobody else could get, exclusives and stuff like that.
Exactly. We've got tapes for sale in NHC Music Shop. Guys are selling tapes, but with the tape's only like £2 or £3 because it's cool and collectible. Yeah. But with the tape, you get a download code for the full album as well.
That's cool.
It's cool. People want something to collect.
Exactly. That's what I knew the merch thing reminded me of. That I've never been a big fan. Angels and Airwaves, their new stuff is apparently now going to span like a whole comic book series thing that also involves like maybe movies.
But that's so amazing. It's not just different mediums to try and get your fucking
music. So you basically invest in a bundle, which you might get like a video, the CD, and then you might get like merch and all that.
And all this shit is good. This can only benefit us as people that are actually trying to get music.
It is a shame though that music just can't stand on its own.
The thing is, it costs money for a lot of people to make music, and that's why they want to make some money back. And then big artists who are like sponsored by, they've got their own fragrance and they've got their own drink and all these kind of things.
With their own beer.
It's like,
really, they got a beer? Hops.
Hops, yeah.
That sounds amazing. You weren't here that show. This was a couple of shows ago.
Every bottle is a download code.
Jesus. See, that's just mad genius.
Hops.
It's clever.
You know you're going to get. We'll have to get some of that for the podcast.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome, man.
Fuck me, man, that's funny.
It's because their hands know like 50 now.
They still look like women, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh dear.
The problem is it's clever doing that kind of thing, but like it's not.
But as you say, there's obviously got to be an upfront cost. It's still going to cost. What was the band we were talking about? I don't understand how bands can now still get major deals for like £2 million up front. What was that those three black kids, the metal band that were like found in Times Square playing? They got like $1.5 million off Sony. How the fuck are they getting that money back? Advance. This year they're like 13 years old, and I think they made the gimmick.
Is it Baby Metal or something?
That's a Japanese thing.
I'm talking about them as well.
Something altogether.
Baby Metal go like fucking $5 million for the Japanese version of Thingme.
That's become a bit of a worldwide phenomenon, that Baby Metal thing, though.
But they get that up front. Basically, the guy's seen them and says, I'll give you $5 million right now.
Every festival in the world is pure clamouring for them. So they've probably made that back already.
But that
metal band, they're just a young band. The gimmick is they're just young guys that are playing metal, and you're like, what made Sony pay $1.5 million for them?
I think they used to only be able to like recoup money from like the record sales, but I think now they all sign deals to sign away the marketing rights for all the merch.
They say a percentage
of
merch.
That's where they claim it back.
360.
That's why Live Nation have come to prominence.
Small kind of record labels are also asking for something like 20 to 25% of all merchandising deals as well, which is what the band generally make their fucking money on tour, the merchandising. So now they're basically saying we also want a cut of the money you make.
I really don't know how relevant labels are now.
No. I don't think you need them. I actually really don't think you need them.
Apart from maybe exposure, like that would be the only reason I would possibly, with this stuff or anything I do, approach a label. It's like if they're going to give me exposure and push
if they have
other areas of my career that I can't personally.
But we recently interviewed,
just go to SoundCloud, just upload your song and punt it to everybody. It's like
we interviewed Ginger Wildheart, and he's doing so much fucking better. We're doing his own stuff online, doing the gas stuff much better.
There's also a monumental wank though.
He was a bit of an idiot.
He was really, really pleasant to me when I talked to him online. He was
playing the other night, wasn't it, in Glasgow?
No, he played the other night.
It was classic band, Well, 2 weeks ago.
We get a shout out, NHC Music. You have a Club Glasgow in front of like 450 people. They dedicated a song.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just knew he was playing. I saw photos in it. But, nice one.
But the interview we got with him was really good. But one of the things he also said, when we asked him a question, he was like, I do think they're becoming irrelevant. And I think that's why they're bumping on all sorts of mere charges what they get, because they know their time is fucking cut. Well, certainly the way they package what they get, their time for packaging up is coming to an end. So now they're trying to recoup. Same as a cigarette. People still smoke cigarettes. Not only will make cigarette smoking dearer, but we'll try and get loads of different other fucking things to get it done. They know it's coming to an end. They try and make as much money as possible.
In my head as well, I always think like where you're going on about that major label signing that band. It seems like a lot of the people in the A&R department seem quite out of touch as well.
Very much so.
Like they don't know how to deal with like the new model and how to push music out now and stuff.
Do you really think it's one thing to say like, oh, you can upload some tracks to SoundCloud and anyone can listen to them straight away, but not everyone does. You don't have the same platform as like a major label has.
There's
not really
exposure,
that
though.
much.
This is the funny point. It's so easy to put your music out for free now, and it's now getting hard to even get folk to listen to it for free because there's so many things. So it's like fucking, you can't even give music away anymore.
Even within your own like Facebook newsfeed of all the people you know, there must be so many tracks that come out every month that you just think I can't listen to them all.
It's dizzying sometimes. You kind of like you can't side with everyone, and if somebody says, "Oh, have you got my EP yet?" You go, "Sorry, I didn't even know you had one." Really,
Can you share this for me? And then you're like, "Well, I can't share everything."
Exactly.
We get stuff sent through quite a lot, and I've just not had time to fucking sort through it and see. Because I just want to play a song on the podcast and not listen to it because it might be fucking terrible. So I don't want to put it up and go, "This is a new song by such and such."
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with actually, because there's no point just playing everything. You might as well play things that you like. I mean, that's the whole point.
It's like musicians have come to this horrible compromise now where it costs nothing to record.
Yeah,
just record yourself. It's like take all the money out, record it. Oh, great! I could put all this music. Guess what? No one's buying it now.
No one's fucking buying it.
So
that's Bedingfield's fault. I blame him for everything.
Got to get through this. So
he was one of the first to record
this. Ebola. I blame him with Ebola and him as well. No, we talked about that. You're right. We talked about how he was the kind of the bedroom revolution recorder, and obviously that was only about 13 years ago.
Wasn't
but he was
Mike Skinner of the Streets? He was one of the first.
He was too. Yep. It was like all done in the bedroom. It's like
in fact, Trent Reznor did the first 9 Inch Nails album on his Mac.
Probably, you're probably right there
in
as well.
1989. So I think he's always one of the pioneers of these sort of things.
Definitely. Well, I think he's like proper Pro Tools, proper back him. He's always been like a sponsor and all that. But I mean, you're right. The studio. I mean, obviously, here we are sitting in my studio, and obviously
which is available for hire.
There is going to be. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, please come. No, I mean, it's not going to the point where I think studios need to beg. I mean, I think obviously there's a limit to every band won't have a genius producer and engineer. So there's always going to be. I'm wasted here on you. Then that's the thing. No, but it's funny because there'll always be a need for certain things, but it's now getting hard to kind of wheedle it out because everyone thinks they can be a great engineer, so they go, I've got a Mac. I've got a Mac. I can download that. I can do an EP in GarageBand, and you kind of go. You can do demos, but if you're being serious, don't try and market that as your EP. Go and fucking spend the money and get it recorded properly. I mean, it's hard for me to say that because it's me you're coming to or whatever, but bands have to do it.
If you want to progress, you have to at some point involve like specialists, and that's
everyone's now a photographer. Everyone makes their own music videos now, and it means that their sound, their look, and their video all looks terrible because they've all tried to. I can do it. I've got an iPhone. I can do a video.
But arguably, that's maybe like the new punk then.
Well, possibly. And I mean, there is a punk ethic about doing things yourself.
So, but, in some ways, that comes back to that sort of folk thing of everyone being able to do it, everyone being able to be involved, but there's still something to learn from the experts. There's still something to learn from going into a proper studio.
Even if it's just like an experience of like treat it as like a mini holiday and stuff. I think it's bad to kind of keep the whole process to yourself because you're not even getting feedback.
I think if I was in a band, I would probably try and do the last band I was in, we did we produced pretty much everything ourselves, but we started from pre-production and figuring out our sound, but then we had a very distinct studio time set aside, and we recorded the drums in a proper studio, and when we did the guitars and things, it was separate. It wasn't considered part of the demo process. So I think as long as you have that kind of differentiation and you can say now we're doing it for real, and you go to you go somewhere for the drums, for example, then you can. I think that way you produce a much higher quality end result.
And it's still the traditional way of doing it. I mean, I think that's why it's obviously at one point that was the only way you could do it, and obviously only certain bands could get in the studio because they were getting paid to go. You couldn't even buy your own studio time in the 60s and all that. You had to get a label to pay it. But I think the traditional method still works. It's nice, and the bands all go away and you'll have a fun memory of being in the studio and it's somewhere new. I just think I think bands need to be careful. If there's a lot of great bands that I've seen that have tried to do things themselves, and I know that there's more to them that isn't getting across because they're just trying, we don't want to waste the money on that, and you're kind of going guys, it's not even that. And you can even get really talented students to do things for do a music video for 50 quid, and it'll be better than what you were going to try and hash together on your phone or whatever, So
I think with us, we try to do as much as we can by ourselves, but if there's a point where we're we're pretty honest with ourselves. If somebody does something better than us,
obviously, I just realised what I could say might be insulting sounding to somebody, but what I mean is if you feel you are at a limit, that's when you do it. But if you feel actually we're doing it really well, we'll keep doing it. Obviously, if it is going well,
I think you have to be realistic about your own skills, and you have to be high on your standards, and we're quite high on our own standards. I mean, that's why we haven't even released an EP as Zero Feedback. We sort of thought we were going to ages ago, but it's that thing of keep working until it's as good as you think it can be.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we've made all our videos we made ourselves as well, actually. But again, it's quite. We try and keep the standard quite high, so there's a lot of.
But for example, I think for our next video, we'd suggested that we get somebody else in because it's like we want to improve more.
Yeah,
And the thing is, you see somebody doing something, you learn things from them, and then maybe the next one you do yourself.
Yeah, we do feel like we've probably kind of, we've got as good as we can get at doing it.
Yeah.
And I think then that's why we've been looking at other people to do a video.
And plus, even if it wasn't a quality thing, it's just a case
James,
of...
get the business cards out.
Well, guys,
I've got a special package. No, but I think it's good, even if it keeps your own process, your own creativity fresh, because you're not...
It's nice to have another mind, another viewpoint, another sort of source of input into the process.
And then you could do the next one you could do yourself again, just to mix
it's
up.
It's like guys who write, record, mix, and master their own stuff. I'm like, you're so attached to the songs. And how'd you do that?
It's
you won't have that thing.
I'd at least send my stuff away to get someone else mastered it.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just mastering, exactly.
So, can I talk to a wee bit about how Scottish hip hop's becoming thriving? Who are your kind of influences both in Scotland and before that with hip hop, and indeed wider?
Good question.
Shit, there's a can of worms.
Well, see, I listen to all sorts of music, like dance music. I'm into a lot of jazz, metal. I can't think so. Listen to everything. Like my favourite bands, like Genesis,
awesome.
Dream Theater.
See, right there, that crosses all boundaries.
A bunch of bands, but like in terms of hip hop. Well, of course, like you have like your sort of gateway artists, or the people you find about first. So, like obviously, like Eminem when he first came out.
That fucker's done 289 songs apparently, and he had the 5 years off.
Like released.
Aye.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a fucking crazy amount of tunes.
Yeah.
But nowadays we're quite into a group from the States called Run the Jewels.
Right.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Is that jewels or jewels as in like rubies?
Jewels like money, like
I like how you can have one hand like going up the way and then the other one going down the way for the other one. I don't know what I was doing. Is that jewels or jewels?
The Scottish hip hop guys, like I'm really into Word. Mad Hat McGore's pretty cool. Loki's awesome.
Word is good as well. Actually, we've had him quite a lot.
Word's cool guy.
Quite political.
Yeah, totally. Stanley Odd, obviously, as well.
Stanley Odd, that's what I was trying to think of.
I like Gasp as well.
That's the Edinburgh guy, isn't it?
I mean, see, I know it's not like it's controversial, they're doing quite well now, but La Fontaine's, do you consider them a hip hop band? Or not? Because I mean, I think it's a weird blur of the lines these days with them.
I don't think so. I think
it's like Young Fathers as well. Like
we've had
we've been there.
Do you know we were talking earlier on? We were like,
so are we actually
Young Fathers.
What are your guys' thoughts on Young Fathers?
Oh God! Well, I mean,
fans,
I'm not into it.
Controversially, just to recap briefly what we talked about last time was, I say last week, obviously
James
last
pissed
week.
off Alan McRae.
Oh, Alan McRae. Aye, basically, I posted a thing the other day saying, look. Years ago they played at the Picture House for this gig through Box in Glasgow. They used to do a thing called The Next Big Thing. So they were the headline act, and this was 2008. And even then they were swanning about as if that they owned the joint and they were getting treated like royalty and stuff. There was nobody there to see them in a massive venue like that. So I kind of was like, well, there's nothing much to back this up. The songs aren't really, there's not really much to it. So they fell off my radar, and then, the whole Mercury thing came up this year, and I was like, no, fuck it, we talked about this in the show before, and I was like, no way they're on that. And then they won it, and I made a comment the other day, said like, oh, well, that's them cursed. They were circling the drain as far as I was concerned. There's nothing big about them. There's no real need to get behind them because they won it. If you don't like them, you don't like them, sort of thing. So yeah, don't worry. The curse will get them. They'll be gone now. Ali McRae comes on and he kind of went, are you taking the piss? And he's probably got some kind of connection, like maybe he's helped him along the way. Not I don't think he's the manager, but he's obviously been connected.
Maybe get cash in there somewhere.
Aye, but I suddenly thought to myself, like, do you really need to get behind someone just because they're Scottish? And I thought, no. I would have disliked them, not hate them, just they're nothing, no matter where they were from. It doesn't matter that they're Young Fathers. Doesn't matter they won a Mercury.
I just think they're pretty bland.
They're just bland.
We've said that. What do you guys think about
that's to recap our whole thing.
Okay.
One of our favourite bands is.
No, we were talking about it earlier, and the thing is, I think we appreciate them for trying to do something new, for trying to start from a point of like a kind of loosely based, hip hop idea. Although you could have the debate about whether they're hip hop or not as well. I mean, not really.
Again, I think a bordering eyes it's bordering.
But the thing is, they've started somewhere and they've tried to do something new and something interesting, which is cool, and we're into that because that's kind of our view on it as well. We don't want to try and recreate like Illmatic.
Just copy it.
You can't better an album that's been created by people who basically invented the genre. Like you can't.
Yeah, good point.
You can't do that. So you might as well try and make the best version of your own version of that sound. So I appreciate that they're trying to do their own sound and their own thing, but I kind of wanted to like them for that. But when it comes to actually listening to them and I'm kind of like.
This is exactly my point.
I just don't really.
The substance isn't there.
I don't feel myself that drawn into it. I kind of feel like I want it to be compelling, but it's just. It's almost just. I don't want to say it's trying too hard, but it kind of feels like that. I don't know that much about them. I've not met them. I don't want to slag them off.
If only we could articulate ourselves like that.
I know, see, that's a very nice way of saying what I said, which is basically like, fuck them. Do you know what I mean?
I don't really like these people or anything, but...
No, the thing is, neither do I really,
but to be fair, we're not critiquing them as fucking people.
Again, this is why I don't want to get mistaken for what I said. I was only talking about... I wouldn't care if I'd never seen their faces, never heard their names, if I just heard the music and went, they won a prize, never... No, why? Just a little bit.
I wanted to get behind them. I wanted to be excited about their album, but I listened to it and I wasn't that excited by it, basically. Whereas like something like Run the Jewels, which is the latest project by LP and Killer Mike. I don't know if you're familiar with either of them. LP's done a lot of production stuff for other artists. I just think him and Killer Mike have got together and this project. Listening to that album is exciting. I listen to that album and I want to put it on again straight away.
So there you go.
It's exciting, it connects. And like I want to connect with, an artist from near here as well. I want to support an artist who's doing something that we're kind of trying to do. I want to support someone who's also Scottish. And I mean, there's a thing as well about, do they rap in a Scottish accent?
They don't.
Not really.
By the sounds of it.
I don't think so. And that kind of makes...
no, sorry, no, they don't at all.
For Young Fathers. And that obviously gets a lot of people in the sort of Scottish hip-hop scenes back up, because it's all about authenticity. It's all about
a lot of people
being real and all that. And if they're not being themselves,
if there's one thing you need to do, you need to do it in the accent.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I know I'm kind of the same with Rick. We watched the video earlier on today, and I think their track sounded pretty good, but they were getting interviewed afterwards, and they were asked to sum up the Mercury Music Prize in 3 words.
20 G's.
And they said, what was the first one?
The first word was exposure.
The second was Young Fathers.
Yeah.
And then the third, dead.
What?
Wow. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
They were asked to sum up the experience for them. The first word they could think of was exposure, and then they filled the rest of the time with the name of their group and the title of their album. Like, what?
Dear.
That doesn't tell us anything.
And that's 4 words.
Let's not even go there.
Just a bit potential. That's all.
What I mean is, I think
it's hard to like.
Like I say, I don't want to diss with people, but I mean, I remember, like I say, they had this air of there were airs and graces about them. Like they were swanning about not wanting to talk to people, and their manager at the time was keeping folk away. And I went, mate, no offence, there's nobody here to see them.
See, I find
you need to start somewhere.
I've noticed that with bands before, and I find that behaviour kind of hateable. But
entitlement sort of thing.
Yeah, the other thing that I noticed though sometimes people buy into that. Like with bands,
this is what we just said. This is what we just said.
Like that, and then their fans start.
Was Jamie? You said
it feeds back into.
I think that might be part of their success.
Yeah, I think so.
They've swaggered about with that kind of swagger, going, "Yeah, we're great." And
some people they bite it. Some people they bite it. That's what I want. They want that band. Do you know what I mean? But
think how many big bands you hear about, and someone's met them, and they're like, "A bunch of arseholes."
Of course, 9 times out of 10, it's usually the case. Yeah.
Then again, if you're saying they've only had like 2,000 odd fucking albums,
2,500 album sales before last week.
Yeah,
but then if they had more, they wouldn't have even been up for the Mercury. They had to have a lot.
That is true. That's a good point.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I think in a certain way, because I think the Mercury's always tried to keep this sort of level of.
It's not real, is there? But it's just kind of.
It's off the books.
It's trying to be obscure.
Then again, of course, Biffy was on that last year for the whole thing.
Biffy, I mean, Kasabi and Franz Ferdinand.
They never won it though. That's the thing. They never.
Of course, they were never going to win it.
Generally, your commercial success won't win it, because I think there's that sort of thing of they don't need the 20 grand. band.
Of course.
Do you know the kind of
But
thing?
then Miss Dynamite won it. I mean, that's enough for everyone.
That's a good album. What was I going to say?
We like that trashy stuff too.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the thing is, right, see if you meet a band though and they're really nice. Oh yeah, they were great. They were sound. They were solid guys. Cool. That's the end of the conversation. Whereas
That's
if you meet
true,
the band,
yeah.
they're total
Exactly.
dicks. You're like, oh,
There's
I
no
should have seen them.
there's no
Should've seen
controversy.
what- you know, it's like Mariah
He
Carey
threw up on stage and then
demanding
threw it at
whatever
me.
she demands, and you know.
G.G. Allen.
Imagine that.
So it creates a bit more of like
That's
an
true,
aura
aye.
about a band or
You're
an
right.
artist, and it
I mean,
gives them.
there is something to be said about being a dick, sort of sells that kind of thing for you. But it's when I know I can tell really easily when a band is forcing, like a singer thinks he's Liam Gallagher, and you go, been done, man. And that's not who you're going home to your mum and you're being the nicest guy ever.
And who's it for as well? Like, at what point do you turn that on? If there's nobody there to see you, why are you doing it? If you're doing it
You
to people
either
who are
are
backstage,
you either are
then
born
what's-
that way to be that kind of guy, and your thing is, if you're going to be a dick, you need to be a dick when you're oblivious of it. Don't be thinking, oh, I'm going to put on this. There's definitely a couple of guys, I won't name it on here, but like there's a couple of guys.
Is it any of us?
Name and shame.
That's a given, it's you guys anyway. Colin? No. Oh, I forgot we can slag him, he's not here.
He's dead now.
Of course he's dead.
now, yeah.
But like the songs I've heard from Young Fires are pretty good. I've been kind of into the music, like
See,
I've been into that, but like
it sounds
past
good.
that,
It sounds good, but what I think it's just. Oh, it's like you were saying, you're kind of hitting the
I don't
nail.
even think it
want
sounds
to
that
like
good,
it, and
to be
I'm in
honest
this
with you, I'm
annoying
sorry.
thing where I'd been hearing the build up to the Mercury, and on Radio 1 started playing their is it Get Up or something it's called?
Yeah, actually, I quite like that song.
I
actually.
wouldn't play it again,
but
but
I don't love it.
I wouldn't play it
yeah.
in the show, but I wouldn't play it again. It's something if I'd listened to it, I'd be like, but I
It was
wouldn't,
just-
I wouldn't actively
it's just
play
there.
it again.
It's just
Aye,
there.
it's-
Yeah, I know.
There's
like-
nothing that grabs
I
me.
feel like they
fucking
could
there.
have a lot more impact than they do, is what I kind of think. Like, I'm just waiting for one of them to just do like a really solid 16-bar verse, just really strong
Yeah.
rap, something
It
that
may
really just
happen, it may
something that
happen.
really just like delivers.
Aye.
But I feel like it never quite delivers on what it promises.
yeah, that's the first album,
And
right?
next week
But
we'll
yeah,
get Young
true.
Fathers on the show.
I see what happens now if we end up seeing there's a support slot for Young Fathers. We'll try and get involved in that,
you know.
and then they hear about this.
But there's no shame in that. There's no shame. Just
Nobody
go
hears
for
this,
it.
it's alright. We're like Young Fathers in that way.
Anthony's on fire today.
You can actually just do what other people have done and just blame us. That's fine. We're all right
That's
with that.
perfect. Yes, exactly.
It's like we went into this, so like we're not going to badmouth anyone.
So, you know, they edited our words the wrong way.
Yeah,
It's
we
fine,
can
man.
coercion.
No, you guys have been very fair about Young Fathers
You
and
have.
balanced.
Again, I think
We've
it's
dragged it down.
Yeah, we have dragged it down. I know. It's because we've talked about it so much now. You know, we've kind of.
Aye.
Just you get stuck in a rut sometimes, and you think I didn't really mean to sound as harsh as that. You know, but harsh but fair.
Maybe I think sometimes the problem, like sometimes I listen to an artist and I expect something different, and I find
That's
if I
the personal
don't expect the same thing when I go back and listen to it again, I'm like, oh, now I know what this is going to sound like, and I've listened to it with a different sort of
Yeah.
expectation. I come to like it.
The bands that I
So-
find that I love the most are the ones that I've just. It's not even like I've heard of them. It's just you hear it or you're at a gig or something, and you go,
aye.
"Fuck!" That's the one. Every time I think about a band that I've
And that's
really
the ones.
fallen in
That's
love
actually
with.
the ones that I get home and then look for them online. I'm like, fucking,
Because
I need that
see
music.
when you've been sort of blindsided by a good bit of music and you go, whoa, I need to find that. But if you're told, listen to this, then you do, you're going, this is going to be amazing. And you go,
Yeah.
no,
But have
it's
you
not.
ever found you've done that and then you listen to it and then you're like, yeah, it's okay, it's not quite what I was expecting. But because you've listened to it, later on you might think, I want to hear that sound that was kind of like that. And then you're like, oh, that was that group. and then you listen to it again.
Definitely.
And then, when, you know,
Or even like you kind of forget that band was hyped, and then you'll listen to it, then
Yeah.
go away and forget about it, then you hear it
Yeah.
again and go, what's that? And go, oh, that is
Yeah,
that same
yeah,
band.
yeah.
So you think, I
Yeah.
do actually like it, but I didn't want to be forced into liking it. Yeah.
Or I didn't like it when I thought it was going to be one thing, but now that I know what it's going to be, now I'm sort of going like, so I might sort of think in the future, oh, I want to hear that sort of Young Fathers sound, so I'm going to go and put that record on, and then I'll be
totally.
like, oh, actually, this is really good. So I don't know.
Absolutely, definitely.
Oh, this is shite.
No, it's still shite. There's some careful backtracking for you, just in case.
Oh dear. It's kind of like the thing we're talking about, the Sonic Highways Foo Fighters thing. I appreciate the songs more in that album as the episodes of the TV show are
Oh, is
going
this
out.
this new documentary thing they're
Yeah,
doing?
'cause
My mate's been telling me all about it.
It's
Is it
really
pretty
good. I'm the only person out of everybody here that's not actually fucking seen it.
Aye, same, man.
I keep
I've
getting
not
told
seen
about
it.
them how good they are.
It's kind of like the songs are in. It's Foo Fighters. So
Aye,
you kind
stand standalone songs are not that
they're
great.
Not great songs, but it's because the way he's doing
context,
it. Obviously, we don't want to talk a little bit again, but the way he does it is basically the lyrics are all taken, like they're excerpts from the interviews of the people he's doing in Chicago and more. Right. So it's all these kind of famous people that he's interviewing, and he's taking their ideas, that he's sketching their ideas and going, right, I'll use that line, and it makes it into a song.
So what is it? At the end of every interview, they release the song.
Yeah, basically.
At the end of every show.
The first one is like Chicago. They started there. That's where he went to his first gig at his cousin's house or whatever, like nearby. So he basically talks to like that blues buddy guy and all these blues people. So they wrote that down, and then they went into the studio, wrote the song. They might have had riffs and stuff and ideas of songs, but they never had the song. And then they put the song together, and then you see them recording it. Then you see the song at the end. And last week was Washington.
I guess, but that's the whole thing about releasing mixtapes as well.
So no, the idea's brilliant.
You want to actually get involved and almost get involved to a certain extent in how they make the product.
Well, let's say we're talking about the whole. Again, he did say it was a thing that hasn't really been done. It has in a way, but not in a way that we've all been.
No, but see, like, these guys do it with mixtapes. That's exactly what they're doing. They're showing you how they do it.
I do like that when you find out a little bit something more about a song.
Yeah.
You listen to it differently.
You appreciate it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I thought that first Foo Fighters song, I was like, oh, that's a little bit bland. You watch this documentary after the 60 minutes are over, and you see the music video for it at the end again. You kind of go, I get it now. That's that guy said. Oh, that's a clever lyric.
But the question then is though, if you have to have like, you know, annotations to appreciate a song, is it a good song?
That's what we talked about as well. That's what you're saying. It's forced. Then you're saying it's
on
forced.
The radio and think, well, that's the lead song on their album. Oh fucking hell, that's not that great.
Because most people probably think the rest of it's going to sound like that.
Yeah, do you know what it probably is? I probably just think what it is I'm not thinking the song's better. I'm just thinking, damn, that was a good hour's worth of trivia. I'm learning stuff, you know.
But I do appreciate that. You know, if I read, I used to be like, well, I still am quite into the Beastie Boys, but I used to be really, really into the Beastie Boys. Like, I'd still cite them as one of my favourite hip hop acts. But I was heavily into them, like reading all the lyric booklets, looking up the lyrics online, finding out what each of the references and all the songs is referring to. So when it comes up, each time it hits certain lyrics, it kind of links me back to what they're talking about, what they're referring to. They mention certain things like, you know, they make up names for their studios, and they mention the studios' names in the song, and without that context, you don't know what they're talking about. But I kind of like the obscure references, because once you're like in on it, you appreciate it so much more, and you appreciate that.
And that reference wasn't thrown. You went and looked for that reference, so it's more special. You
see that's cool quite a lot. Like we were talking about the other day, where, you know, rappers may actually just make up words. Like as you said, like names for different places and whatever else. You actually have to go dig and search to see what they actually mean.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, that happens all the time with hip hop, especially using slang from whatever area they're from. They use slang words in their raps to give it that sense of, like, gives it a location, gives it where it's from.
What could you put in for Glasgow and Edinburgh and stuff?
There's lots of people do already.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Because we've got some of the best slang in the world.
There's lots of local language. Love slang. Like, I'm pretty sure, I could try to think of anything off the top of my head. There's definitely Loki songs where it uses the word BAM, for example.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is.
I'm sure there's a Gasp song that was done recently, and there's a lot of slang in it, because they done it at Audio. A gig not long ago, actually, and it was like gasping. Because Gas was the guy that gets slang because he drank a bottle of Buckfast before he went up stage, and he was fucking hammered.
Man.
But he's still done the full set. But then he basically fell off the stage at the end of it.
Was it Gas we saw at King Tut's?
I can't remember.
Fucking totally liquored up, but up and rhymed daft stuff that people were like, how the fuck can he do that when he's so drunk? And then as soon as he stopped rhyming, like a rock band does, as soon as he stopped doing his stuff, all of a sudden he was fucking staggering it again. You're like, that's
awesome. It's almost like muscle memory.
Switch it off.
It's that guy I knew used to say, like, he'd always play gigs. He's a phenomenal drummer. He's a couple of years above me in school, and he was always steaming at gigs. He'd always be absolutely at his tits, and then he played a gig sober, and he couldn't play drums properly because he'd learned how to play drums steaming.
That's the argument for taking all your driving lessons when you're drunk. So once you've passed your test and you're out on the road, driving home.
Top of this, we'll actually need to get the guys up for
what? Drink drivers.
Drink drivers. We need to get police and get all that stuff done. We need to get a wee set.
Yes,
sounds good.
One thing you kind of touched on very briefly about young fellas was the lack of Scottish accent. Were you tempted to sing in an American accent? Because like Silly Bill and Beans kind of started out that way.
Right, yeah.
Were you tempted to pretend to be American?
See, the thing I kind of found when I started doing, when I started doing Scottish hip hop stuff, I wasn't familiar with the Scottish hip hop scene.
Right.
Now that may be really like ignorant on my part, right? But the reason I think I started doing it is because of listening actually to D'Antwoord, who are another act that we really like, who are the South African sort of rap rave crew, they call themselves, right? And I listened to them and I was like, right, okay, you can do rapping in another accent. And because he's using a South African accent, he's using South African slang, words from other languages, I was like, this is amazing. It's drawn in even more of that stuff.
It lends itself to the...
Yeah, and it's quite a visceral,
That's cool.
A direct, guttural sounding language, like Afrikaans.
South African rap.
They're awesome.
So that was why I thought, like, I can do this, and I was straight away. I always was just going to do it in a Scottish accent. I was never going to put on an accent, and that's how it came about. And it was only after I started doing that we then sort of went, oh, let's see what there is in terms of Scottish hip hop, and then found stuff.
Saying like we mentioned LaFontaine earlier, when he started Kerr, the rapper, he rapped in an American accent when he started, and then very, very quickly got told, you know what, don't do that, and then he
I just think
there's something about being fake that puts people off.
I got to admit, see, when I first heard Scottish hip hop, like obviously we'd been rapping and whatever else and that, and I was like, yeah, I hadn't been taking it too seriously, and I'd go listen to the Scottish hip hop stuff, and I thought it was shite. Like, honestly, and it sounds really bad, I thought it was shite, and I'm like, but then the more I listened to it, I was like, I don't know, I just kind of got into it, and I think there's definitely, like,
there is a barrier there.
Yeah,
with the accent. When you're not used to hearing it, there's a barrier with the accent.
I think it's so close to home that it almost kind of gives you a bit of a fright at first, because you go,
no, totally.
That's odd and weird, but then it's
But then I grew to love it.
One of my favourite memories of the festival from Wickerman this year was Hector Berserk versus it was like a rap battle, and I can't remember who it was. It was like it was the headline thing. It was a rap battle, and it was phenomenal. It was just like they're just freestyling all this stuff, and they're just both. What?
The Scottish accent conveys more emotion than
I wish I could remember who it was, who was on, but it was fucking great, and it's one of the lasting memories of the night, of the whole weekend, and I was just like, it's so cool.
The thing you need to remember is as well, it's only been in the last, I don't know, like few years that, maybe more, that an English accent rapping has been acceptable, and it's become in fashion, like with the streets and stuff like that. I remember when I first heard Mike Skinner, I was like, what is this? Yeah. Jeremy's like, what is this? And like, you might find, it's kind of a...
I think it's a Scottish thing as well. When you hear it, the first instinct is it's a little bit parody-esque. Because you think,
is this a comedy thing?
Yeah, because that's not how it's done.
This is the thing. People have said to us, and people have said to me as well, that it's just a novelty. Rapping a Scottish accent's a novelty. It's not taken seriously. It's a parody. It's not. It's like a joke. There was an advert on the TV about I can't remember what it's for, some shit thing.
Oh, it's the
rapping granny
and the
rapping granny or something. And it was just terrible. And it's mocking, what is obviously a legitimate art form. Of
course.
And like, Scottish people have obviously been writing rhymes and poems and folk songs and all these. I don't know why I keep coming back to folk music to me.
You're on a hippie trip.
I've gone mad. But,
it's relevant though. Your point is very valid.
It's existed for a long time. People performing things in a Scottish accent. It's been tradition, and it's only then been influenced by American artists and wanting to emulate that sound that leads people to think it'd be a good idea to do it in an American accent. But the thing I always find, the thing I appreciate about the people I appreciate the most, whether it's musical artists or whether it's watching in a film or someone that you know personally that you like admire, the thing that you appreciate isn't specifically what they're doing. It's the fact that they're doing something that's so close to them and that's true to them, and that they're being 100% themselves. So to then put on an American accent in order to sort of try and make yourself more palatable to like an accent, an audience, it's just not going to work. People are going to know it's fake, and people are going to be like, yeah, they feel cheated.
It's definitely good to, again, you get a bit more respect. Whether that's what you obviously you're not looking for that, but you might get more respect because you're keeping it real to yourself. Yeah. I think
it's an American accent is more cringy than on a...
Cable problems.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in a train.
Yeah, I think putting on an American accent just costs much more cringy than having a Scottish accent on a record.
But it's okay to
never understood that.
It's even okay, like going back to what I said. Okay, it's like you don't have to like Young Fathers because they won and you're Scottish. You can still dislike it. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's like when I first heard Twin Atlantic, I wasn't a fan of them just because of the voice, and it's not because he sings in a very broad Scottish accent. It's just his particular voice I didn't like, and everyone's like, oh, but it's good that he sings. I was like, it I'm not saying that. I just don't like his voice.
I don't like that. I don't like the music either. It's no.
See, music's so. I mean, I'd like him more if it was somebody else.
I want more stuff for it.
But it depends on whether you listen to like the things like, you know, well, you could go back to the Proclaimers. The first time you hear that, you sort of like, you would laugh, oh, he's singing in a Scottish accent.
Seems like a parody the first time you hear it.
Back to folk music again.
It depends whether you think like, oh, we should be getting
kind of Dale Mitri. He was kind of half and half. He went half Scottish and then half easy kind of American stuff as well. So everybody kind of liked it.
Is it more important to be like easy to listen to though, or to be like, I'm making a point of singing in a Scottish accent so that people will come to accept this?
See, I don't know what is better.
But see, I think now, whether it's rapping or singing, I think people doing the Scottish accent thing, it almost seemed like it was the last one at the party. Because I knew bands even like say 6-7 years ago that were singing in English accents because like Arctic Monkeys became big and like Block Party and Block Party. So they were like, why are you singing like a guy from Leeds? You're from Glasgow. And then it was like, oh, I love Twin Atlantic now, and they're all singing like Scottish accent. And just like, well, they are putting it on themselves, even though that's kind of what they would sound like. But it's them pretending to be themselves. It's weird.
I find it quite difficult to actually sing in a proper Scottish accent. I just try and sing with my voice, like, you know, that's how my voice sounds like
it's natural.
So there's a lot of people like putting it on, I think, to be honest.
Definitely.
And I think there's another problem here. As much as I'm like true to being, you know, I think it's good to be true to your accent and you know, rap or sing in your own accent, but there's that thing as well of like, if you're a classically trained vocalist, or if you've sung in any choirs or anything, they will work on your pronunciation so that you can deliver the notes as effectively as possible. So sometimes syllables have to be vowels have to be pronounced differently so that they come across.
You then don't sing your
so
own
they can
accent.
project them, and then you're not singing in your own accent. But it's not because you're trying to be, you know, you don't join a choir and think, oh, I'm going to try and sound English. You join a choir because you want to, you know.
But I think as you were saying there, I know guys that sing in a pure Scottish accent, but they don't talk in a fucking Scottish accent. They talk very polite, and then when they sing it's all the Scottish stuff, and you're like, you don't talk like that. So that's just as bad as doing a fucking American accent. Or
it's the rappers you see who are from Scotland who are trying to rap like they're from Leeds or like London or something like that as well. That's just so confusing.
In a way, I think that's more confusing. It's so close to home. It's like, well, if you're going to sing like an English, that's an hour away. Sing in your own accent.
Surely that can't be any benefit for a hip hop artist. Surely people don't go, well, they sound like they're from Leeds.
But the thing
must be good.
I'd love to hear a Geordie.
If you're thinking about commercial appeal, then that's the thing. Because if you approach it being like, oh, we want to be mainstream, we want to be accepted as being a serious act and not a novelty act, then you can say, well, obviously American artists have been accepted in hip hop for, you know, a long time. English artists are now accepted in hip hop in the mainstream. Scottish artists, you don't really see Scottish hip hop in the mainstream. So if you have aspirations for the mainstream and you're a Scottish hip hop artist, it may be more acceptable to you to use like a London accent.
Aye, right.
I just think if you're a real fucking hip hop artist, though, you should be singing the way you fucking sing.
The point people
miss,
that's
what made all them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Respected because they sung their own fucking stuff.
The point people miss is that these people, the reason they're successful, the reason that they're pioneers, is because they did their own thing, not because they followed someone else.
Getting back to folk music, that's exactly.
If you were jumping on the bandwagon after it's already passed, I
was going to say like a good point of something that is just I don't know if idyllic's the word, or you know, instantly recognisable is Beastie Boys. Look at them when they came out; it was just like, holy fuck! Their voices were completely original sounding. The way that they said things and phrased it.
Anybody sounds like the Beastie Boys are fucking amazing.
Nobody sounds like, and they were brilliant, you know. And it's like,
apart from maybe the first album sounding like Run DMC, but after
here's a question: do you think, go back to them? Do you think Young Fathers would have won the prize if they had broad Scottish accents and rapped in really broad Scottish accents?
Don't think they would have been the shortlist.
No, probably no. Actually, no.
See, it's kind of sad, but
no, you're right though. Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
They do occasionally have Scottish accents, don't they? I mean, I sort of listened to it to try and hear it.
No, but it kind of that's the annoying thing. So they obviously can. It kind of does sometimes, almost as if they've just kind of phased back into their normal accent. Then,
but then you could say, well, in that case, are they a more theatrical act? Are they putting on an accent for the purposes of communicating
something? It's a show rather than a...
But I've nothing against it. If that's what works.
Neither as well,
nothing against it. But
I don't know why it popped in my head before you even said that.
Set your stall, that's what I do.
So it's like, if you're in a prog band and you wear a cape on stage, you're not trying to convince anyone that that's your street clothes.
That's what you wear.
That reminds, before you even mentioned that, I don't know why it popped in, the Dolly Parton thing at Glastonbury this year. She was miming a lot of that, and she mimed the saxophone thing she played. Of course she did.
Was she miming? I never saw a performance.
Oh no, she was. There's a really damning.
No, it's a bad edit you get online and it's totally. It's
It's damning. She actually she doesn't open her mouth in time, and it's like, oh shit. But then again,
this is like a 60+ woman playing a fucking instrument and maybe singing.
But this is the thing. Then people try to defend it, and probably quite rightly so. I'm kind of on the fence with it, right? But basically, she's putting on a show. It's not. Listen to the decline of her voice.
What did they expect for Dolly Parton?
This is like a theatrical thing.
The decline of Dolly Parton live.
The decline.
I'd buy a ticket for that. Like, I'd go and see that. What's that?
That sounds better.
You just go fucking let her go live. Let's see how this turns out.
Is that 75, 80 quid at the Hydro?
It sounds so dramatic.
Every artist that's now struggling and getting old should start doing that decline off tours.
Decline Rolling Stones.
The decline and fall of Bob Dylan's voice.
But that's quite good, you know, because on the flip side of the coin, you do have bands like Rolling Stones that
Bob Dylan
they don't give
less
a
and
fuck.
less on stage.
They'll go on stage and actually go, do you know what, we are kind of shit now, and not even trying, like, fucking his fingers. He couldn't even play the guitar at Glastonbury this year. It was last year.
Who was that?
It was Keith Richards. He couldn't even fucking play.
Jesus.
It was proper bad. It was really.
Who was
I'll change that cable before you.
Who was the famous band that had the fucking the drummer, the stand-in drummer that came in and played in the background?
Fuck yeah, you're right. It was somebody fairly recent we were talking about.
It was somebody,
well.
quite a big band. And it was like a drummer, it was just a guy that just came on.
It wasn't Rolling Stones, but it was somebody like
somebody of that ilk, big enough,
really
enough.
Old big band. Fuck. But it just shows you, like, some people just like to go, do you know what? We know we're getting past it now. But people like Dolly Parton, they go, fuck it, we'll put on a pre-recorded vocal.
They chucked out the drummer because he wasn't.
No, he just couldn't do it himself. It wasn't he chucked out. He just couldn't handle it. Drumsticks. It was just too fucking old, and then, man. Just too old.
Fucking Rod Stewart this year at the Commonwealth thing.
Well, Megadeth, all of them apart from the fucking crazy lead singer, if all got together, all of them apart from Dave Mustaine, have got together to do a side project. So basically, it's Megadeth without Dave Mustaine.
That happened with another band. I think it was.
That was just announced yesterday, actually.
Some of the band done that. They split the band up, and then all the members, bar one,
apparently because of
Megadeth. No, you've just kicked a guy out there.
Apparently because of Megadeth, because he's a dick, but he owns the rights to the name Megadeth and stuff. And there was talk of him calling it Megadeth, but death as in DEAF, the real fucking spelling of it.
Rod Stewart at the Commonwealth Games.
Awesome.
Really?
He did the.
It was the opening, wasn't it? Was it the opening? It was awful.
It's about as Scottish as Princess Di. Like,
Yay! Too soon.
Like,
no, it's true, man.
It's
been 16 years.
I'll cut it.
Whenever I see that, I'm like, he's fucking no Scottish.
He's a jockey.
I mean, where's Tom Trousers shorts?
I suppose before we get you doing a live session, where can we find your stuff and what have you guys got coming up?
Plug.
Time to plug.
Zerofeedback.bandcamp.com is where you'll find all of our past releases and future releases. They're all up for pay whatever you want. You can download them.
Now you can never put them anywhere else because you'll be lying. Every future release has to go on that site now.
You can download them for free, or you can contribute a wee bit.
Is there regular mixtapes as well going up?
There's, not regular, I wouldn't say. I've only released two in like 2 years, but they go in the same place. They all go in the same place. But you can always find out about what we're doing on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We don't really use that very much, but we're on. I think Facebook's probably the main place where we connect with people, and obviously we've got the Bandcamp as well, where you can find all our music. Cool. So
brilliant,
excellent. I suppose that just leaves us to say thank you very much for coming on. And
cheers for having us, man. It's a pleasure.
I know, it was really
and
good,
soon you'll also be able to hear a very exclusive session, which we're about to do.
Yep,
so
and
here is Young Fathers with.
Oh god,
that's been the biggest running joke we've had for months, man.
I feel we've made trouble for ourselves.
We're gonna have our first hip hop beef, man.
Hip hop beefs are good though. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, but can you have a hip hop beef with an act who aren't really hip hop?
It's now a hip hop just solid steak plate. It's not just beef anymore. Love it.
This is gonna have to get settled in some sort of cage.
Anthony just wants a fighter, so he's after paper play. Barrowlands.
March 29th.
Yeah. Chris Redfrew's a stand-in.
He's right into hip hop, to be fair.
Of course he is. He is. He really is, yeah.
So it'd be worth sending him your stuff. I'll give you his email address.
Sweet man, I'll take that.
Get involved with that.
I'm a
Absolutely.
bastard that way. I don't care about
that's another thing we should probably say as well. We're always up for collaborating with people.
Awesome.
So if there's anyone who hears our stuff and wants to get involved in some way or another, whether it's working on some music, whether it's contributing like an instrumental part, if you're like a guitarist, or if you're a singer, if you're a vocalist,
Colin's dusting off the bongos at home.
if you work on videos or animation or graphics or anything like that, because we're interested in getting more people involved. Because when it's just the two of us, it's kind of a lot to do. So the more that we can get other people involved with, it's totally the better.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
It's kind of really good. It's kind of what NHC does as well. We want to try and get as many people involved.
It's interesting as well. It gives you much more like diversity. It's that thing of having another person's creative.
I think
input,
it does it, but it's bringing stuff in that you might know have had before, and then you're like, "Oh, this is quite good actually." Whatever this weird shit is that we're doing is quite good. Aye. Anthony naked, that's fine. We can do that. It's all right.
Nobody wants to see that.
Right, okay.
Right, without further ado then,
cool.
For those listening at home, it's zero feedback time.
Here is zero feedback.
Zero feedback. Yeah, check.
Is anybody listening to a word I say? You got ears, I got breath for days. With a fire inside and a mind ablaze, I deliver on time, no delays. What? I scream so loud. What? And I've never been so proud. But it takes a lot for these lungs to collapse. Yeah, plug your ears for one more track. Calling on every peer with a pen, falling on deaf ears again. Hauling ass to get where and when to be crawling back like a battery hen. That's right, I'm caged, locked up. These spouts of rage, stocked up. I'm about to blow, yeah, you got to know it. Now I'm bold, ready for a close-up. What's up, I'm diving in. Swimming in the sea, we're thriving in. Yeah, I lift my head to breathe. Water's really there for me, but I saturate. See a silence, agitate, so defiant. Yeah, never give up to become compliant. Become the boss, then fuck the client. Punch the clock, feel the burn. Time spent with no return. Tick-tock, it's ticking away with no reply. Just one more day. This will of mine is just a broken shell, it's shattered. So take a turn, this token hell just to leave you well and tired. Another one for the abyss. So stack 'em up till the tower tips. Can't shed no light on this eclipse. So stack 'em up till the tower tips. Oh stanky no. Oh no, it's a pointless pursuit. Like a motorway sculpture, that's true. Drive fast, never stopping to look. My tax that the government took. We pay for this and that, and every sight you see and every piece of tat. And the way it invades our habitat, I wanna stop and say I'm not having that. Oh yeah, it's a trivial pursuit. Like a head full of brains with no use. You got a piece of pie but no food. So please supply your notebook. Let me see what you're working on. You read and write, but you're signing on. Not signing on cause you're writing strong, but nobody cares. So kill King Kong. Kill the beast that you created. Didn't birth the 8, but damn you made it. Lure it in and fucking cage it. But don't be surprised if you enrage it. This is your life's work now. This is your calling. But don't imagine for a second if you reckon you can fly, you'll feel you're falling. Stone cold slipping, no more gripping. Lost the bet and yeah, sweat keeps dripping. Battery hands, are you fucking tripping? I'm talking to you, so listen. Take up a sock, take toe and dip it. Toe the line because you're cocaine grinning. So what is the point in this pointless mission? Superior point from this impure vision. Yeah, another one for the abyss. So stack 'em up till the tower tips. Can't shed no light on this eclipse. So stack 'em up till the tower tips. Oh stanky no.
Just like I would tell you, if you're gonna do something, leave something with you. Do it well. Leave a sign to let the world know that you were there. Have a good day.
Wake up with a sense of purpose. I'm meant to work this, inventing wordless. I'm a man who can't do brand new language. Coin a phrase and cash in on the damage. Put another penny in the puggy and I got it. Play another hand and then abandon all the profit. I lost it, they give a fuck attitude. Back at you, why you care what a rapper do? Shakespeare, Burgess, you can't purchase the kind of mind that writes lexicon. So I'm pressing on with this mess of thought. Yeah, get blamed, turn on, tunnel vision. All E-res interference when I pick up your transmission. Another one for the abyss. So stack 'em up till the tower tips. Can't shed no light on this eclipse. What? So stack 'em up till the tower tips. Oh stanky no. Yeah. Oh stanky no. DOS 4 coming out soon. Big plug. Yeah.
They came to the ranch, lady. I didn't go to them, they came to me. You're stealing my music every day. You're writing my songs. You're playing my game.
Yeah.
Like when we rehearse ourselves, we never even manage a single song without laughing because most of the time all we're trying to do is make each other laugh at stupid words that we change, but then I change a word to try and make him laugh, and then I forget the rest of my words. So it's nonsense. It seems weird to try and do it seriously now. You're on the shit list, misfit. No, you fucking missed it. When I wrote a big list of all the ways I diss this situation dire, my patience is tired. I want to say so many things, but don't, cause I'm a liar.
God, I'm sick of this inane chat, always with the same crap. Your true status as a wank shows that you've attained that. That's right, I'm at the end of my rope, so what, you better get climbing if you think you can cope.
Like, what the fuck you talking about? The boat is really rocking now. You pushed it to the limit and we capsized, falling out. And if I saw you in the water trying to stay afloat, I don't know if I would throw you the lifebelt or gloat.
And no chance I left my patience at home. And if you're thinking of ringing the bell, I'll tell you where you can go. You take a left turn, bang, I got your head in the sink. And I'll be turning on the taps, well, I'll tell you what I really think.
Tell me what you really think. Tell me what you really think.
Yeah,
tell me what you really think. And say it like you fucking well mean it. You know what I like about you? Ha! Nothing. There's nothing to discuss, cause you're just disgusting. And if you think of bluffing, check the hand I hold. I'm trying to be direct without defying my self-control.
Yeah, so when I hear you talk, I think of ripping out your throat. Cause when the conversation comes, it's like conversing with a goat. Yeah, so let me cover my ears and give thanks to the fact that when you try it, like, you'll never stand a chance.
I can't believe you got away with this for so long. You're milking it, I still it's so no, don't get me wrong. But tell me, how are you living with the decisions that you make? How are you sleeping me down in the deep end, and how are you keeping okay?
So who really gives a fuck about you anyhow? An eternity of earnestly asking does now. I just struggle with the words to say and thinking of all the many ways to bury you face down, sinking into your penny grave.
Tell me what you really think. Tell me what you really think. Tell me what you really think. And say it like you fucking well mean it. Nobody wants to tell the truth, and least of all me. Nobody wants to proffer proof for what they really believe. It can't be told when words are bold but have no meaning at all. Sycophantics and semantics are romantic to a fault.
I could dress it up with metaphors, but would you get the gist?
Probably not,
considering all the chances you missed. Ha! Yeah, I think my work here is done, so let me dart off my boots, because the battle is won.
Tell me what you really think. Tell me what you really think. Tell me what you really think. And say it like you fucking well mean it. Tell me what you really think. Tell me what you really think.
Yeah.
Tell me what you really think. And say it like you fucking well mean it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you mean it. Woo! Yeah. Ow!
Yep. Big shout out to Genesis.
Big up Phil Collins.
This one goes out to Phil Collins.
His comments on Adele were uncalled for. Slippery little fish.
Yeah.
I'm more than human, no homo sapien. My ego takes up the entire palladium. I'm the omen, I'm a thorn in your side like Damien. And after me you know that things will never be the same again. Yeah, cause I'm raising the bar like a javelin as I throw it and it pierces a star. Cause a conflagration will always succeed. Yeah, fireworks and you can even compete. So take pause like you're hunting bears. I break laws, catch you unawares. I make flaws with their beautiful benefits, and I'm looking for pessimists cause I'm cooking their sentiments, yeah. And it's boiling the bag till I find something worthy like oil in a rack. So evaluate and calculate the wonder suffered. There's always gonna be another undiscovered. You can call this meaningless, but I don't give a shit cause I'm feeling this.
So you can laugh it off, yeah, just laugh it off.
You can call this meaningless, but I don't give a shit cause I'm feeling this.
So you can laugh it off, just laugh it off.
Yeah.
Let's start afresh, let's review this chapter. Boys jump off like I do from the rafters. Spin the end extinct like a raptor. Trapped by the jaws, feet burned by the captor. Yeah, like I'm tying it up. Lock, stock and 2 barrels, I'll be buying it up. With any luck, I've got you feeling as fuck. You got egg on your face and I'll be frying it up. Another flash in the pan, yeah, fame for 1 minute. Gonna take you down the step, then assess your limits. Put the work in, suppress the gimmicks. Make the people smile, then impress the cynics. But that's a lost cause out of sight. For when I hear the applause, you know I'm doing it right. People look at the score, they cheer for 1 more. Cause you never heard a hit like this before. What?
You can call this meaningless, but I don't give a shit cause I'm feeling this.
You can laugh it off, just laugh it off. What? Come on.
You can call this meaningless, but I don't give a shit cause I'm feeling this.
You can laugh it off, just laugh it off.
Because you know that I'm off, I'm on, like a phenomenon. I'm that, I'm this,
This is the genesis of something much bigger than you, but no match for me. I'm sure I'm known, but there's a crack, you see. It takes time to find and refine the thoughtscapes, so now we erupt and dig up the lost tapes. There's lessons to reference, and the bass sounds so deafening. There's blessings, progressions, and you know I'll be confessing, cause I go by the name of Righteous Fist. And this is effigy, killing this. We gotta hype up the breakdown, shine up the fake crown, make a sound you love because you love when we make sound. You can call this meaningless, but I don't give a shit cause I'm feeling this. So you can laugh it off, laugh till you choke, laugh it off like an inside joke. You can call this meaningless, but I don't give a shit cause I'm feeling this. So you can laugh it off, laugh till you choke, laugh it off like an inside joke. But the joke is on us when you focus on us, not even mentioning the tension when you're choking on us. People laughing and asking, why did you change? But we never ever limit ourselves to one range, and we never have, never will, never take a sleeping pill, never sleep, never pause, never gonna shun applause. You know I got 20 thoughts to your one, so laugh it off, and you're done. Done like a fucking cooked chicken.
Yeah, you're done. Done like Donald Trump's toupee.
Like Bill Clinton's,
So done.
Bill Clinton's presidential career.
Like Bill Clinton's saxophone career. Like Tony Blair's priorities in Iraq. Done. Bit political there. Don't know how that happened. Cool.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Okay, a chilled number now. And take it down a bit. Laid back. Yeah. I keep up the search like it's my life's work, but there's no signs to find my samsara route, and my mind will unwind like it's a parachute. More open the better, like an expected mouth, and I'm correct in doubt until my brain falls out. Birds demand worms from their date of birth, but you won't feed on shit until your date of worth. And you can use the worm to catch a bigger fry, or be unsatisfied with small potatoes and then die. That's the fucking truth. So for the agony pageantry as the worm meets you, cause it's a fallacy, fantasy that you'll be renewed. Submit to tragedy happily and you'll be subdued. You can only swallow what they feed. You're the bird, open mouth, beg and plead, so let it wash over like a lava flow. You can be Pompeii, cause that's when lava's slow. It's a laid back stroke, cause the playback's broke. Check.
I never planned this, nor did I ever see it coming. I'm building walls so tall they keep me from running, but what this cunning mind has done is left me withered and weak, with or without another blizzard of thoughts to critique of this life I'm living. Given a chance I'd wipe the slate clean, a new life from the day I turned 18. Edging decisions, then I raise all the wrong, then I frame for precision, leaving thoughts where they belong. Yeah, it was the risk that I took, a wicked throw of the dice. I picked it knowing I could, to put my life on red and call a halt to it all. But now my heart's on black, I'm coming down with the fall. And all that's left of the dreams of this facade, but now the fall and calling time on everything that I had. But let me stop there, cause my vision is cloudy, completely indecisive with the friends that surround me. It's a laid back stroke, before the pain has to go.
Yeah. This one's for everyone playing it loud. This one's for everyone slaying doubt. This one's for those in a penny grave. This one's for those in a penny grave. This one's for everyone making sound. This one's for everyone shadow bound. This one's for you if you're loving life. This one's for you if you're fucking tonight. This one's the 1, 2, 3 to tie down. Got your number marked by the darkening clouds, and the counting will never fall on the downbeat. And a crucis is useless if there's truth in your speech. This one's for the needle in the haystack. This one's for you if you're feeling laid back. Yeah, this one's for you and this one's for me. This one's forever and ever R.I.P. It's a laid back stroke, and then I may have to go. Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
We've been Zero Feedback. check out DOS4, zerofeedback.bandcamp.com. Find us on Facebook. Cheers.
Hip hop has these horribly long, awkward outros and intros sometimes.